All right, I want to look at Elon and ketamine. I think that there's more on the plate than just that, actually. Let's do this then, shall we? We'll save that for a second or two. Let's look at the whole picture here. Let us look at the whole picture. So let's do for the summer of Elon. June, July, and August. Summer of Elon. Since he is claiming to leave the White House, let's look and see. Summer of Elon. Stop it. Summer of Elon. All right then. So, the Tower and House Fool would indicate that there's a beginning to something that is about to be destroyed and torn down. The Fool is in House Emperor. This has something to do with his structures and powers. I may be in his companies, though. In House Tower is the Hermit. So this is where some isolation may occur. And so he may be getting some challenges to his positions in different companies and things. Possibly just Tesla. The Devil or House Devil holds the car, so and also in the car position or Justice is in House Chariot, and so there could be some sort of legal problems when it comes to him being the CEO of Tesla. This is beginning, so they're about to start some things that say they may challenge the power and structure of Tesla or his positions. The Empress, the Judgment, the Moon, the Fool, the Sun. There is also an abundance growing here too. When it comes to the person in the White House, he's getting a lot of favor. A whole lot. They're holding up something for him or taking something for him. The government official would be Hierophant. Hierophant is in House Hangman. Hangman would hold something up. Has something also to do with worldwide since the Hangman is in House World. And so there would be something here that he wants to be scattered around, so possibly Starlink. There's some abundance happening there, but it is not a, I don't want to say it's not a legal thing, but it's sketchy. Because the abundance, which is Empress, in House Empress is the moon. The moon is sketchy. In House Moon is the Magician. Magician is manipulative. Manipulative of what? Of the abundance, because Empress is in House Magician. And so there's an abundance that's being manipulated for something to go around the world. The moon is also a satellite, and so this could indicate something to where he would want these things scattered around. The Empress and the Fool, again, the Fool is in House Emperor. So this could indicate Donald Trump or somebody like him, also giving him some sort of benefit with technology, especially if you go down this row. The Fool, the Devil, the Emperor, the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is technology. And the Temperance is in House Wheel of Fortune, which is quid pro quo. So he's getting some sort of benefit for Starlink here somewhere. The world, the justice, the lovers, the devil, the temperance. There's also some lawsuits coming, a bunch of them possibly here, and they're from women or I'll just say lovers of some kind. But I'm going to say there may be a not sleuth, but onslaught of women here because the lovers card is in the house strength. Strength is in the house of justice. So this could be something to where they feel as though you were aggressive or overbearing and that type of thing, if you get what I'm saying. And then the devil right next to it, so there's an investigation into a lot of deeds that happened with these women here. And this has everything in the world to do with power. The lover is the devil, the high priest is the emperor. So this is some sort of power or something like that that you exert it over these in particular, people, if you get what I'm saying. So there may be some sort of lawsuit over that. However, it may be civil because it may also be settled with the temperance card. Temperance is reconciliation, so coming to some sort of agreement. And it's in the house of money. And so there may be some sort of suit that is settled there. And the world is in the house lovers. That could indicate that this happened in more places than just the United States. Strength, the Hierophant, the High Priestess, the Emperor, and the Chariot. There is the attempt here to exert strength over the car company as well, because strength is in house justice. And so this may just come down to numbers to where I got the more shares, so you can't kick me out or something, whatever the case may be. So there's something there. The Emperor in house temperance. There is the attempt to negotiate possibly with those in power. I know that New Jersey Turnpike is losing all of its Tesla EV plugins. They're being replaced by a company called Applewood, I believe. And so there is going to be however many that article said, like 60 or whatever it was. All of the EV stations for Tesla are being removed from the New Jersey Turnpike, which is the most busiest highway, I believe, in the U.S. So big loss there. So he may be trying to negotiate something there. And of course, Tesla responded. Not him. Of course, he responded too, but Tesla itself responded, saying that variety is the spice of life. And I don't completely disagree with that because it's not a bad thing to have a gas station across the street from another gas station. And so when you have options, it's always better. But anyway, the Hermit, the Star, the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Death. For him, I would say that all of the rumors, there's a bunch of rumors that are coming out or about to. The Death is in house Judgment. Judgment is in house High Priestess. High Priestess is in house Death. So there's going to be a lot of changes to what people are starting to say about him. Judgment is my card for announcements or reports and things like that. Something you would say to the world. As you see the little trumpet speaking to the people. Something you would say to the world. And so there's going to be a lot of talk about the Elons and all of that type of stuff. That's coming out. He'll be the center of attention. Star is in its own house, which means that his health could be compromised because it's here getting better. It may also be linked with another person. So I don't know what kind of health problem it is, but it could be linked to another person. And that person, it's sexual in nature. Star is in house Star. Star is a recovery, like a physical recovery. So if you had a cold or whatever, then you recover. So where would his health, you would look in house Strength. Strength talks about good health. So you would look there. Devil would talk about bad health. There is no health card there necessarily, but there is something here about linking with other people because that's what the Chariot card is. But Lovers is in house of the good health. And so whatever his recovery is linked to the Lovers card or another person. Strength card, again, the good health card is strength. So strength is in house justice. Justice is also a 50-50. And so this has something to do with another person. Justice also being in house chariot, which means that whatever it is, it's linked to another person. Now, chariot is not linked to another person that you necessarily get along with either. Meaning that this could have something to, this is speculation, okay? Don't take this and write this in the paper. This could be an indication that there's a third person involved, like you had your situation with Miller's. There may be a bit of itchy scratchy syndrome coming out of one of those people, and you may be recovering from such a thing. Yes, it got that tawdry that fast. So but the reason I say that, again, stars in its own house, which means your health is recovering. There has to be something to recover from. And so I look where your health should be, and or your good health should be, and there's a person there or people there. So there's that. The anyway, so the Hermit, the Star, the Magician, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Death. There's the attempt to also siphon money out of health or health programs as well, because there's your manipulation, there's your money. And manipulation is an in-house moon, so that's why I read it as a negative. So there's like trying to siphon money out of something, but it's evident. And there's records too, trying to siphon records. This is in house sun. We've already seen it, so this is not a revelation. This is just basically reiteration at this point. This is records and this is money, and it's in house sun. We've already seen it. Sun is in house of government. So it has something to do with government money, government records. Lord, that's enough. There's more, but there's enough of that. I still got like 12 readings to do. Okay, so let's look at him in ketamine, is what I was going to do first. The Itchy and Scratchy Show. Ketamine and the lawn. Okay. Ketamine. What kind of drug usage? Or maybe none. Let's be open to the card saying he is not an addict whatsoever. Be open. Don't project into the cards just because you don't like him. That's not fair, right? So, Elon and drug use. Is it a lot? Is it none? Is it safe and sound? They're all coming from one spot, huh? Ketamine. So the Six of Swords. That's where we start. The Ten of Swords. Very dangerous game. There are thoughts he's trying to escape. The swords are mental. The Six of Swords is a transition away from a rough time. The Ten of Swords is danger because it is loss and ruin, backstabbing, and that type of thing. He is trying to escape, which is also what your Six of Swords would indicate. But these are mental, because the swords are mental. But he's trying to escape that thing, and he does so frequently. Because the Ten of Swords, again, is speaking of a danger. If this is some sort of once every blue moon type of thing, then doesn't really indicate necessarily a problem. And the Hierophant. I think half the problem too is those who are wiser are enabling him, because he's getting it from somewhere. He's not cooking it in his garage. And so he's getting all of these different things from somewhere, which I think deserves a look, an investigation. But Knight of Cups. This is now just recreational. The Page of Wands. The Judgment. Impaired. There's a... It's like a place he wants to go in his mind that this takes him to. Like dunking your head in a bag full of colors or something. The Seven of Pentacles. There's a lot, though. This is a build-up. It's not one thing. I mean, this indication of this card, it could be seven. A cocktail of things. But with this, like, this can be a cocktail of things. That can be a cocktail of things. That can be a cocktail. Like, it could be several different ones, which means there can be several different things going into him at one time. Five of Cups, again, I think he's trying to escape thoughts. This is depression and sadness and sorrow and all that. Nine of Wands, pressure and strain. And then the Nine of Cups, excess. He wants to go mentally somewhere. Okay, so let me ask this. Is he in danger? Let me ask it this way. The Ten of Swords kind of said that, but that could be me just projecting as well. Is he in danger from his drug usage? I'll just say it that way. Is he in danger from his drug usage? Four of Pentacles. Right now there's containment. This is also paranoia and isolation. Page of Cups. Surprises, innocence, childlike mentality, naivety, creativity. The Two of Swords. Decisions, stalemates. Well, I'd say so. There's the Tower. Because whatever he's trying to avoid with these drugs, the Two of Swords never, ever, ever goes away. Containment. Four of Pentacles. This is paranoia. Is he in danger from it? Yes. It can't help but collapse at some point. It will collapse at some point. Four of Cups. Running from reality. So at some point, yes, it will collapse. Bless your heart. But we shall see.